Hello, everybody. It's Alan Lowe, and here we are once again on the I Told You show. So, we're back in the Flagler Voice studio to have another episode of the I Told You show. And with me again is Candy. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Alan. Thank you for having me again.
Well, we have to do a quick night tonight. We don't have our full half hour because other things are going on. So, let's get straight to it, shall we?
Sure. Just a few things we wanted to talk about tonight. On our rumor roundup, I can't do the voiceover like, uh, what was
Oh,
his
the
name?
rumor roundup?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
he does a nice one.
hold on one second. We can do this though. It's time for rumor roundup.
All right. So, like I said, like Alan said, we're really pressed for time tonight. So, we just wanted to talk about a few things. And I've been reading in the comments on Nextdoor and Facebook and everything else, and emails and things like that. And misleading statements. That's going to be the topic of tonight. We've had a lot of misleading statements told to us as residents.
Yeah.
So, first one, they're telling us that if we build more houses, our taxes will be less. But they're not ever going to be less because we always are going to need more services. So we know that they're going to raise, but we want to keep them steady and slow and, not going
Right.
crazy off the charts and nickel dime here, dollar there, all that stuff. Right?
Right. So let's look at what actually happens. The um the truth is I just hit the wrong button on the camera, but now it's in the right spot. The truth is that as we build more houses, people are believing that, people are being told that as we build more houses, we increase the property tax revenue intake for the city, and therefore it it spreads the burden out off, individual people. Well, that's not true, because as we build more, we need more police, we need more fire, we need more schools. We need more. Well, the water treatment plant needs to be increased because it's about to
Right.
run out.
Right.
So increasing population by increasing the number of rooftops does not lower the taxes on each individual. The truth is, if you look at the villages out west in Florida, that county is in serious financial trouble because the villages have grown so fast that they can't keep up with the infrastructure. And that brings us to impact fees. Impact fees only cover the new build, the new roads, the new stuff, but it doesn't go to fix our existing roads, our existing swales, our existing um, flooding issues. It doesn't go to fix any of that.
You
It's
can't
only
believe
the
how
new
many
stuff.
people are shocked about that when I tell them that the impact fees, the developers are paying the highest that they can right
Yes.
now, but that only goes for new stuff. So where you see them putting a pipe maybe under the road that you drive down every day, connecting it to a canal, that's where the impact fees goes to fix the road back where they put the pipe in. It's not going to go to fix our roads. It's not going to go for the swell maintenance, the weirs, anything in the canals. The impact fees do not go for any of that stuff. It only goes for new stuff to
New
connect
stuff.
the new construction to the old stuff. So we need to realize that the impact fees are not helping us either.
And the impact fees, some people are saying we should raise them, we should raise them. Well, impact fees by state statute are maxed out right
They
now
are maxed
against the
out. So
builders.
that well's dried up now too.
Yeah,
So
so it's increasing population does not decrease taxes. And right now, 92% of the tax base for property tax is on the shoulders of the residents,
right.
and commercial is about 8%. So the only way to reduce the tax burden on the people is to shift it to commercial. And the only way to shift it to commercial is to actually be proactive and create a diverse commercial economy here in Palm Coast. Retail's not going to cut it
No.
because it doesn't pay a high enough wage for people to make a living. What we really need, and I'm sorry, people don't like to hear it, but we need light manufacturing out in the industrial park, not in the middle of the city.
Right.
And we have railroad tracks, we have 95, we have Route 1, we have an airport in Bunnell, we have an airport in Sanford, we have an airport in Orlando, we have an airport in Jacksonville. So supply chain and transportation are taken care of. The only issue that we may have is workforce. And if we would just just make it an incentive to allow companies to really get involved with apprenticeships, we could have those people teaching our younger people coming out of high school trades, and
Right.
then that would create the workforce so that we could bring in the bigger businesses, the good paying businesses, so people wouldn't have to leave Palm Coast to go find a job.
Right.
And at the same time, I'm not going to say it would reduce our taxes, but it would stabilize our taxes.
Right, because we
So
would have more money coming in from the industry and the
from
commercial
industry,
businesses
because
and stuff like
because
that. It would
because
also retain our young people, keep
yeah.
them from moving away from Palm Coast.
Yeah, and on commercial buildings, there's no homestead protection, so commercial buildings pay the most.
Right, that makes sense. Let's see. So you got the impact fees, the misleading statements about them saying if we build more homes. And I just wanted to say something about building more homes because I looked on the market today and I saw that there's 1,839 homes for sale right now in Palm Coast, while they're in the process of building probably a couple thousand more all over town,
I think
maybe.
I think in the supply chain, if you want to call it that, in the permit change, is somewhere between 13 and 17,000. So, and, that includes apartments and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, so just a short time ago, our inventory was around 200 houses.
Right.
So,
It
people,
made sense when all the building was going on then because we didn't have
we
enough
didn't have
houses
it.
for the want and need of the people. We didn't have
Exactly.
that.
But now we're up to, did you say 1,800 and growing?
1,839. So everybody that owns a house out there, get ready for your house property, your housing worth to drop because that's what's going to happen. If you look, it's already
It's a
happening.
supply and demand issue.
It's going to happen. So don't be thinking you're going to sell your house to move out of Palm Coast and get that 450,000 that they've been telling you you're going to get for the last 2 years because you're going to get what you paid for it.
Yeah.
The 250 or 200 you paid for it.
Yeah. Not right now, but it's going to head down.
Right. So we need to slow the growth so also it doesn't affect that.
Right.
Those of us that are already here that have homes that have invested in Palm Coast and its growth.
And to jump backwards just for a second on the impact fees and all of that stuff, as we build more of these developments, and I'm not anti-development to once we have our infrastructure and everything else up to par, but the people that live in the developments that the impact fees cover for their roads and their things to build the new ones, uh, they drive out of the development and they drive on the existing roads that are here now that the impact fees does not cover the maintenance of. So we get wear and tear from the new people coming in on the roads that we have existing now,
Right.
but their impact fees do not pay for the maintenance. So
Right. And that's horrible.
yeah, so we have to keep
I'm
that in
not
mind.
saying I don't like the people. I just think the way that
No,
they have it designed and the way they have it that way, I just don't think that's smart.
no, and people, they're talking about a moratorium, and a moratorium, in my opinion, is a short-term answer to a long-term problem.
Right.
And what we really need to do, I think, is come up with what I call a quota system. So we ask, we sit down, we have a meeting with staff, and we say, how many houses can we how many permits can we put through and build houses in a year, but yet have the ability to maintain and improve our existing infrastructure? And they'll come up with a number, and I don't know what the number will be, but let's say the number is 5,000. I don't know. Let's say the number is 5,000. So we're not saying there's a moratorium in building. We're not putting tile people and concrete people and sheetrock people and painters and all
You're
and
just
builders.
saying we're only going to do
We're
5,000
going to
a
do
year, and that's
5,000.
it.
And if you're 5,001, you wait till next year.
That's right. So that's not saying no, and that gives everybody time.
A breathing,
Yes, in
breathing room.
between the lots of buildings. So I think that's a great idea. So retention of our young people,
Right.
diversifying our workforce, maintaining and beefing up our current infrastructure, and then continuing developing is a great plan. I've heard that from a lot of people. That's what a lot of people want.
That's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be, and we should all be able to talk about it back and forth. And we should all be on the same page because we're
Right.
all living in the same city and we all should have the same goal is to keep the city beautiful and
Right.
safe
Right.
and slowly, smartly developing.
Exactly.
All right, last thing because it's a quickie today. Alan's on the ballot twice. I just want to let you know he's on there twice. Once for Republican executive committeeman, and he didn't put himself on there. That's just kind of an automatic thing, the way it goes when you apply for the Republican executive committee if
Right.
your seat is open.
Let me explain it a little quick because I've actually heard a little bit of feedback on that. Several of us applied to join the Republican Executive Committee this year, the club, and because a bunch of us put in applications from the same district, and the district was up for election for a committeeman this year, those people that put in applications automatically got put on the ballot to determine who would be the committee person.
Right.
I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't even know I was on the ballot for that position
So we started calling you.
until people started calling me and telling me, "Hey, you're on the ballot."
Going, what?
I didn't know that was going. And for those other people that are on the ballot that are running for that position that would like to have that position, vote for them.
Yeah, because you didn't. You're just
I didn't
happened to
know.
be-
I had
it'd be
no
nice to have
idea.
your conservative outlook in two places, but I get it. You only have so much time, and
And-
being mayor, you're going to be busy. So
Yeah, exactly. It's difficult to be both. But anyway, what's
Okay.
next?
Okay, so the next thing is the parade. We have a parade tomorrow.
Yes.
Get out the vote parade. Is to get everybody excited out to vote. You know, the Democrats outdo us on that. I'm a
Yeah.
Republican, just so in case you didn't guess. But the Democrats outdo us on that. They get out the vote. They get out the vote. They get everybody excited. So I think that we ought to show them a thing or two here in Flagler County
Sure.
how we do it here. So
But it's open to everybody.
it is open to everybody. I have personally reached out to all the candidates. The ones I didn't email or text message, I saw the other night and I told them about it. I mentioned it at City Council in front of everybody as well. It's posted all over the pages. So all the candidates are welcome. All your families are welcome. Anybody in Palm Coast is welcome, as long as you decorate up your car red, white, and blue and plan on having a great time.
And where are we meeting?
We're going to meet at City Hall, where the City Council meetings are. They're right near the theater, right behind the lake. We're going to meet at 11. Decorate our cars, line up, and then roll out about noon.
And you've got a route planned.
I do. I have a route planned. I think it's a pretty scenic route of Palm Coast, and I think it's a pretty extensive route of Palm Coast with a couple shortcuts that you might be surprised that we have.
So I'd love to see everybody there, and let's get out and vote. And speaking of getting out and vote, don't forget tomorrow starts early voting.
First day.
August 10th, tomorrow,
First day, guys,
Saturday,
you got
August 10th.
7 days to vote for Allen.
And it goes from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. from tomorrow, Saturday, through Saturday, well, the 17th. I don't know if it's a Saturday or a Sunday. But anyway.
It's the following Saturday.
So Saturday to Saturday, 10 to 6. You can vote at the library here in Palm Coast. You can vote over at the supervisor elections
Or
office.
the community center
or
right
the
there
community-
smack in the middle
right.
across from Island Plaza. Yeah.
And you can only do that during early voting because on the 17th it ends, then 2 days, and then the general primary election, but then you have to go to your precinct
and
for
you'll
that.
have to know where that is.
And you need to vote because some of these races will be decided in the primary,
Right.
and you won't have a choice then in November as to who to vote for because it'll already be decided.
Right. So if you have somebody that you want on the ballot, you need to make sure in the next 7 days you get out and vote so they can make it on the ballot. So then everybody can choose them on the general ballot. So there is a primary here and a general here. A lot of people don't know that, but it's
Right.
very important that you get out. If you have somebody you really want on the ballot, please, the next 7 days starting tomorrow, after the parade, go vote.
Well, I appreciate it. It's another great night. It's too bad we had to run through it so quick, but I think we did a good job
We got a bunch
on
of stuff to
covering,
do, so-
covering it real quick. Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff to do. We have the parade to get ready for tomorrow, and early voting starts tomorrow, and here we go.
Maybe a couple hours of sleep somewhere in between. Would be good.
Maybe.
Thanks for listening.